Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang today. And also welcome to our many friends, Sangha from around the world joining us this morning. Big welcome for you. You noticed anything different? Why we may try this new arrangement? Because I felt it was yesterday we came in. Actually, I was told before yesterday we felt to change something, because I feel when I'm here, I'm fine anywhere to sit, but I'm trying to shake off this over formalness, not of the place, but what happens in the mind of the people. Because if you are going to come all formal, it's very boring for me. And I feel we're wasting our time if you cannot get to the heart of what matters. And so I thought, okay, let me come so I can have you right here, and we can see if it makes a difference. And then I came yesterday, I found it, put this platform here. So let's see. So thank you, Sarge Express friends, for joining today. And very much welcome here. Good. Okay. Okay. Don't come same old, or else I won't take it, these questions. May I hear from you? Okay.
Hi, Papaji.
Good morning.
I feel I have to stand up in front of you because I saw the fear all the time coming.
Slow down. So you're standing up because you often feel this fear, or today you feel a fear of what?
I think I felt some fear in the past, and since yesterday I feel just a really big urge to stand in front of you. Telling you I am here.
Can we look at what brings the fear first?
The fear, I felt it every time that I don't want to come in front of you as the person. Now seeing that the person didn't want to come as the person. And I just basically want to surrender.
So this is somebody else we speak in now, this person.
I hope so.
Okay. It's good. I'm liking. Okay.
I feel like...
So if the person is being spoken about, it must imply there is something more subtle than person. The real one who wants to be here and to make use of this opportunity to share is aware of the person, the personal sense. Why person is so shy? Why person is afraid? What is person? You see, all know the sense of person. Yesterday we had a meeting yesterday, and we're talking a little bit about this ego, this person. And I said, I don't know, I'm declaring this in a very big space today, that in more recent times I decided I want to learn more Portuguese. Not more, just learn some Portuguese. And I have to say, it's been quite a struggle for me. Okay? There are some of our Sangha, they are excellent. But I feel perhaps I've not used my mind in this way so much to learn and study, remember. So have I gone too far to say all this now? Anyhow, my point I'm trying to make, so it's quite an effort to learn Portuguese, which seems one of the most difficult languages for an English-speaking one to speak. But I was saying to some of the friends yesterday, I don't remember ever learning English. Okay? I'm going somewhere, bear with me for a moment. I don't remember learning English. I remember at school we were teaching as children, we were being taught as children the alphabet. And we even had songs about it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Well, this kind of stuff. Okay? But I was already speaking English before learning even about alphabet and grammar and so on. Okay? And my point was, I don't remember when I learned ego. When we took it on. And it became our universally acknowledged reference for who we are. But there was a time when it was not like that also. And I shared, yes, I'll come back up, yeah. I shared that I remember one of my nephews, when he was a child, now he's a big guy now, big man now, but he was about 3 years old, and he was at the table not eating his breakfast, and his mom said, "Shannon, come and finish your breakfast." And he said, "Shannon is not hungry." The I had not become corrupted yet to say, "I am not hungry." There was a difference. Later we picked it up, that I represented the mind and the person and so on. So when you started by saying, this I that we became so familiar with using the term I, whose origin is total sacredness, the real import of I is the self, which never goes away and is never lost and can never be lost. Actually, even to use this term, nobody owns it to lose it even. But it got covered up and seemingly replaced by this person who is shy today. Why shy? In maybe other situations, not so shy. When it feels competent, it doesn't feel shy. But now it's pressed to be looked at more closely, and all its insecurities and all of these things are coming. And something wants to cover this, to hide that, to be embarrassed by that, feels embarrassed by that. But nevertheless, you pressed on to say, I feel shy. Maybe in other environment that you're more comfortable and nobody questions your identity, we are very much comfortable about that. But you've come to a place by grace and because your beingness wanted to be in this place. Your deeper being want to come to this place and to be uncovered. But the learned self, the acquired self, is very uncomfortable. I just wanted to put this out. And this is why we often feel so... You may be quite confident in your terrestrial existence, daily existence. But in an environment where you're being looked at, not scrutinized, there's not even judgment, an environment of real understanding that is not cursing the ego or personal identity. I equate those two to be the same. But to look beyond that. And even your first words are declaring that you're reporting about. Anything you can report about, whatever you can see or experience or perceive through the mind or the senses, cannot be what you are. You can recall, you can remember, you can project. There is traffic, tourists coming and going, you see. And often the identity of the person claims it is their story, their life, their world also. But I think we are drawing more and more near in your statement to see that even the person itself is also observable. Many of you know this, and maybe I'm sharing this for maybe some who are not yet so clear. Even amongst those who have been coming for a while, it seemed not to be so clear. And you wonder because intelligent people, but it seemed like there's something fiercely protecting this identity, as though it wants it to continue and to fulfill its projections in its world. But there must be some force working with you that you can be here in a place that is not necessarily comfortable for the person, but appeals to your intuition that there's a way of going beyond the person, but not beyond that way, beyond this way, if there's distance involved. So bear it, bear the discomfort. It signals a much deeper awakening, you see. Uncover yourself. Because in the state of personhood, the Maya, I call Maya the illusory and delusory power of the world, is very, very much, we're in the grip of that force that is binding us to a life that deeper down, you know, there's something here, yearning to be free. We said one time, I said, before you entered into form, the Supreme whispered something deep inside your being. And now it's time to remember and awaken to it. Not everyone will respond to or even hear this call at the same time. But may I assume that you have? Because here is discussed nothing else. The exploration is for that, to uncover, not to create, but to uncover that which appears to be hidden and replaced by a very world-centered identity.
And Mug'ji, with me standing here today, I just want to really uncover it and saying, I felt the call coming here to the area, and I just want to say that maybe the recent days I went a little bit more into form, but I want to say right now that I'm still here and I feel it, and I'm just here for it.
Yeah, and don't be hard on yourself. This play of this oscillation between form, and if you are noticing it, it must be because there's another space becoming clear, that you are able to say, yes, I can see how easy, like some reflex, my attention goes again into the form. These are not things to feel terrible about, but just to, maybe you will anyway, because at some point you must have tasted the joy, I would even say the bliss of the formless, to then feel the irritation of the form. Not the form in itself, but the attachment to the form. Isn't it?
Can I have one more question about do I just leave it? Like when I go into form or some tendencies?
The attention goes into form. The habits go into form.
Then there is the person who wants to be awakened and it gets irritated. Do I just leave everything to outplay itself?
The person who wants to awaken is also the form also.
Yes.
Gradually some change is happening, and mostly that change is taking place by grace. Your part is to keep the fire of yearning, to respond. You say that the life is like, we use the word a kirtan, means a call and response. For a long time, it's like externally we are called to engage in the world, but this call is coming from within you, and the response begins with some faith, some trust, and also so many things that support that. You see. So your question was, should I just
I would just leave it. I
Yes,
feel
yes,
like
yeah.
I see how much bigger it is, more and more, and I just feel that sometimes even when I go into
What is bigger?
it's bigger than the person, and I was used to be the person. I
Yes.
don't know. It's
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how to say it. So it feels even when I go into tendencies, it's grace showing me something.
Yes, yes.
So I just leave it.
And to also not fight and struggle so much with the things that come, but make use of them to strengthen your discerning skills.
Yes.
You know, and develop a little bit, the little discipline to do a little bit, because grace is responding to your deeper yes. Understand?
Yes,
if you put it in the hands of the person, they are more super trouble only. But sometimes we have to experience just all your personal strength to try and change your life. Is also part, even if you seem to experience failure, at least you fail heading in the right direction. Everything's okay, you know. Don't be so hard. At some point, you may find you're moving in centimeters, and then you're moving in kilometers. You know, you cannot. Don't predict anything. It's not so linear.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you.
Did I touch on your point a little bit? It will come up again because we are all talking about the same thing, no? Yeah.
Yes, it's yeah.
Okay. All right. Does it feel okay, this arrangement? Yes. Are we warming up a little bit? Okay.
Thank you, Guru. It's what you're saying. It's for me. It's also very evident because yesterday I had I was in your presence, and this uncomfortableness just came up really, and I think it was quite evident, and I saw this identification also, no? Even
of course,
it up.
because I sometimes watch you guys from afar, and you're really quite everybody, yeah, and happy, and then I see you, and then I say, whoa.
Yes, and
you see.
Yes, and
I'm not surprised at it. I'll get used to it.
I know, and for me it was even in the moment, even though there was a lot of identification, it's very evident that it was very apparent. But I also, somehow, it's really grateful to.
But now you know what that is, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what it is, so you don't have to give so much empowering to that. You realize if something is. This will happen for a while, this sense of resistance. And it's important that it happen also, because what happens in places like this is that that which you're carrying around and unrealized tensions and compromises within your own heart, and all this, in a company which you're not challenged, just remains undetected, isn't it? And the person will always seek environments which don't threaten it like that. It's not that the truth threatens it, but it feels threatened. Yes.
So I just want to say, and that's why I want to come forward, not to give it so much importance to that, but to the fact that I want to come forward, even though that's uncomfortable, and of course it feels like at that moment it's not nice, but I feel the value in it, and I am very grateful.
And on the other side of it, when you come through that, because something is fighting for survival, it looks like, but
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, but don't hold back. Tell us what the other side feel like when you break free from that. If you keep identity, then you'll leave this place and go straight to bed because you feel so tired, no? And it also can be a good thing, but when you persevere, realizing that actually as long what you're seeing is the evidence of a sense of a personal identity alive in some way. But the fact that you can see and know that whatever, as I said to you, whatever you can see or perceive through the mind or the senses is not stable, including the idea you have of yourself is not stable. When you can see that, it will become increasingly clear for you that that you cannot be any of that traffic passive. You see, for whom has it become clear? Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all over, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a mathematician about it. You don't have to be too scientific. The fact is that the grip of the psychological identity is dissolving under the light of grace in you. No? And you feel it. And this is why a power comes from within you to encourage you to carry on. No? It need not drag on though. You follow? Because if the person comes back and says, actually we're doing really well, doing really nicely. Good now. The person will itself come up sometime and say, we're doing really well, Guruji, I'm happy to report to you. We're quite well. Ship is floating along, sailing along nicely and so on. But it has a little smell there. So don't make any claims. The self is not making any claims. The true self is not making any claims. Just Is it okay I'm speaking like this? I think we're quite basic today. Which basic is good. Okay. This is one food for everybody. What you hear in your intelligence, you can apply and say, actually, I can see where that's very relatable. And your saved up questions, if you listen in the right way, will perish in the light of your seeing. It will dissolve in the light of your deeper seeing. I feel quite up front today, actually. I can reach and touch the hand of this one. Look at that. So good. You satisfied?
I am satisfied, but I want to just step up front because I feel this is still very important to just not... These energies come, and I just feel just to step and step.
You show me another version of stepping up and coming in front. That's even more powerful than this. More powerful than stepping up. Detachment is a very, very powerful exercise for the sadhaka, the one who is searching for freedom. It opens doors without the key. Learn to detach is it's very, very, very... And you know, its fruits come immediately. Maybe not in the first few seconds. The just be exercise, which you've been using, is verifying that in you experientially. Detachment is one. But what I share, that whatever it is that appears in the mind or the feeling, true feelings or thoughts, sensation, everything, don't invest so much in that. And detachment will bring you to a deeper thing. Of a quiet, steady inner space of untouched awareness. You remember I gave an example, I think it's still a good one, when I was giving a talk with a group who were not familiar with these type of terminologies that we speak about. And the leader of the group asked, please could you explain to us what you mean by consciousness or awareness, And I like that. And so how can you help us to understand what you mean? So of course I could go down the road of some kind of definition of what it means, but I gave this example, it came very spontaneously. If I was waving my hand around like this, we all can see that, okay? My hand is moving. I'm aware of the hand moving. Is my awareness moving? You see? It's a simple thing. Even child can relate to this. I'm aware of this, And if it changes, as the awareness changed. So awareness is so natural for everyone. What is that in which all movements of thought, senses, feeling, world, everything happens inside the space of your being, and without moving, there's awareness of it. And yet, our own awareness, we are unaware of the power of what it means to be self-aware. We are aware of objects, of perception, but I say you're actually aware of even the act of perceiving is also there's awareness. Try it out, just relate in real time with me. What is it then? This profound, all-pervading silence in you. We may use the word silence, there are other synonyms we can use. Spaciousness. Is it inert? Is it dead? We are so used to the mind, which creates activity and comparisons and all this excitement. But that which is prior to the mind, which is always with you, are we aware here? That's the birth of the mind, the birthplace of the mind, the birthplace of the person, birthplace of the world, birthplace of perception. All this dance of creation happens in that, but nothing happens to that. When recognized and you're pointed to that, then you see that all this agitated moving, which includes the sense of the person, because the person also is traffic. It poses as though it's solid, but it's also traffic. It cannot hold its own shape. And the deeper knowing exposes that. Where does this deeper knowing come from? It's always with you, and it's always you. But because of the momentum of habit, the strength of habit, you see, unquestioned, the wheels of identity keep turning. And it's okay. We're not trying to stop them, but to see to the shift from identifying in the world and the one trying to get it right to the place of pure existence. And the mind will rebel. We say, well, nothing is happening there. Who wants to be here? Who wants to be in this place? Nothing is happening. No success, no failure. Okay, but who wants to be there? Well, you're not going to arrive there. It is there already. It's the only constant. Does it mean we are throwing away the world? It doesn't belong to you to throw. Because even in this state of awakening, the world of life, it flows on. Your family will still be there. All these things can still happen. But they're not being met through a psychological identity anymore. Free of that. Oneself awakens to the eternal. When? When, you see. The eternal is not waiting for the person also. The person is a myth. It gains its power by unquestioned acceptance. But you're here to look and to find. And I say that if it were to take 100 years to find it, on the day that it is found, it will not be unlike today. It's not that things outside have to get into a better shape, a better place, but you wake up to that in you which is eternal, pure. Not a joy related to situation and circumstances and where you live and who you are in the world. Are you in the right place?
Yes.
Then chew and swallow. Sometimes it's a stubborn identity, no? Stubborn, it's not gonna. It wants to do it its way, whatever that is, on its terms, which with the teacher it has chosen, and the place it wishes to live. Yeah, all this is free for us. Try and see. Free to be free, and free to be bound. All experiences flowing by in the river of life. Everything flowing by except your real being, which is the source and the cause of all of this dance. But experience without the person is very, very different. We want to keep the person. We want to take it to heaven. Heaven is your being. Even beyond the being is the absolute. Where? Okay. All right. So, yeah.
Thank you, Guruji. I feel very happy to be here.
Which here are you talking about? Slow down.
I was talking about physically here with you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. There's a greater here than that.
Yes. What you were just pointing to, I felt that.
There's a greater here than that. I'm very happy to be here. The here that is synonymous with happiness. Not the geographical here. Geographical here is okay too. It's a finger pointing to the non-geographical here. Where is this here? Wherever you go, you're always here. It's a natural thing. You're always here. And this here is not something external to you. If you could take a spaceship and go to the moon and you call home, you cannot say, oh, I'm there. No, you're always here. Find out what here really means. I'm happy to be here. But the real here is synonymous with not just happiness, pure bliss. I'm not talking about blissed out. This bliss which means total contentment. All the beings in the world are searching for the same thing. I sometimes call it rest. Okay? There is something even greater than rest. It's not a thing that can be perceived through the mind or senses. It's another name for what you are. Where is to be found? And by whom? Stop waiting for something to happen. It's not a trick of mind, waiting for something. The next thing. Even waiting for enlightenment also. It can be a trick of Maya. That which eternally exists, effortless within itself. You see, God cannot leave you because God is the eternal, limitless. He has nowhere to go. But you have so many places to go.
I heard you say recently that we all come into this world with an account. Like it feels like we have some...
And to do what?
To close the account.
Good. How far are you? How far are you to close account? You know your account? Who is your accountant? Let's not leave things at the conceptual word level. Who is your accountant? What is your account? If God is not within you, which direction should you face to find the Lord most? We have to speak like that because human beings, we largely perceive concept, those who believe in God even, as we see God as an entity. Why? Because we are an entity. We believe we are entity. So God is like the greatest entity. But if you create something as an entity, you must have location for it. It must be limited. But if God is limited, He cannot be God. But until you go beyond the apparent limitations of one's own self, you will not know that which is unlimited. Because we feel ourselves living within the boundary of this body. Your I belong to this body, but your real I, the whole world is living in it. The I of the person, this is your territory. You can say, hey, don't touch me. Oh, you think we can speak like that. But the deeper I, where this I come from, is the one shining in the heart of all the beings. Even mosquito knows this I. Maybe don't know it. We're intelligent, so we can know things. So all the troubles are happening in the realm of the person. No one has ever come and complained about the troubles of being. I'm happy to be here. You say it. I'm happy to be here. And they pushed it. Here where? Sahaja you have to travel to, but there is a here that you don't have to travel to. Although it might seem you have to travel at least in a subtle way by turning your attention towards that. And even if you can turn your attention towards that, you still cannot see it. Because even the attention turning towards is also seen. Are we too subtle now? Becoming abstract, or is it relatable what I'm sharing? Yes.
Can I say something on that? Because it does feel like for a long time the identity was just like in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And where the attention comes from is like in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
The person also in like the head, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to close this account is why I'm here. This personal account.
It's a way you can say it. I like to be broad also. If you can see the account and the accountant. Anybody fallen off the bridge yet? Can the account and the accountant also be perceived? If it can be perceived, is the perceiver included in the account? Take a little time. If you slow down and really be with what we are sharing, you won't have to, you will avoid the mind multiplying more equations for you. Slow down into that. I am before slowing down. The I am is before slowing down. That's why it's even slowing down is already as something that is to be done with the intention that the result of that will bring satisfaction. But I am already that place. So are you, if you care to look and verify. Ultimately, you need nothing from the phenomenon. And yet at the same time, by not needing it, you can totally embrace it. Can you understand this thing? Yes. By not needing it, if you need it, you're going to have fear. But by realizing what you are, that this world, if you don't exist, the world doesn't exist for you. The world is perceived through the instrument of your manifest self also. But even your manifest self is perceived within your unmanifest self. Tell me if you're with me, we can see. Yeah. Where are we going with all of this? Where are we going? Are we on a journey? Where are we going with all of this? Is it a sense of going? Huh? Ongoing. Not ongoing. Ongoing, you mean? Okay, just make sure. Are these just tricks? Well, Maya is the biggest trick. But it's a divine trick. So don't curse the divine trick. It's there serving a purpose, and the purpose is to see and to transcend its influence. Otherwise, it binds you into a psychological state that you'll be wriggling for a very long time. The purpose of this is that if you don't get it this round, there are other rounds. But as you are waking up, you will begin to see the cost of personhood, the cost of ego. Otherwise, it's not shown to you. The more you don't see it, the more its world seems real. But the more you're seeing it, meaning that now you stand a chance to transcend its influence, then you begin to realize, whoa! You see? Not when you don't see it. You're with me? You can hear? Yeah. I'm trying to put out your questions, but who is... Let me see. For whom the mystery is unsolved. Okay. Can I see you? Devi?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just I have to stand in your light.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a stubbornness. I just think there's so much arrogance here that I can't hear you even.
Yes, this is true. This is true. But I'm looking on the bright side of that arrogance. Sometimes I say there's some of the students, I value something in them. And the thing I value is that their mind is not good. Their mind is, if your mind is good, you have a relationship with the world maybe for quite some time. But I have a few of them, the mind is not good. The mind is giving them such a beating, okay? So I say, come on. Because in that beating, they also imagine that, wait a second, but even Mugji is going to reject me if he sees somebody. I said, no, come. Because you are one who don't buy the mind's fruit so easy. And it hurts. Their mind processing is hurting. You see. When you can begin to look and feel a level of contamination in the way that you perceive, you are also saying now, no? That
yeah, my mind is terrible, and
you know who is laughing? The other terrible minds are laughing. Okay, let's not pretend. Come on. Oh, her. No, okay, go. Who's got a really good mind here? Oscar-winning mind. Come, okay, let's hear it.
There is a lot of belief in my own failure, and that's really hard to shift.
The strength of the mind is the strength of your identity at the moment with it. It cannot run without you. You provide the fuel. Identity and mind have become one. It's almost gapless. You understand? But you are showing gap. But the identity, that which you are included in the mind, presenting as, my mind is, my life is just falling apart. These are the birth pains. I want to change, because in the world people go, she needs help and so on. To get good mind so we can keep you staying in the world. But this thing, it appears, although like that it's so strong, but I see great opportunity not to stay there, but to transcend that the identity is locked in and the identity is being fed somehow. Not able to be detached from it, to observe with detachment. It's too much passion in it. Don't have too much compassion for that state just yet. I'm happy to take it all the way right now if you're up for it, but you have to give me something, give me some thing.
I just feel that it's been such a long time that I've given space to this.
Yeah.
That it's
identity is at the heart of our struggle. So you want to be free from identity's troubles, but not of identity, which is the hub of the trouble. And no one teaches us that there's a space other than identity. I think, but I'll be lost. No, you'll be found. The self you're trying to find is the one thing you cannot not be, but you must be awake to it as it. But at a certain point, we are devotees to the ego mind. Like a bad marriage you cannot get out of. And let us wake up out of that dream. How? By beginning to recognize when I say the world or the suffering and the sufferer go together like two sides of one coin. But the truth is not that coin. How near are the words I'm speaking to you? It's like you're hearing mostly as a reflex. We're hearing on the foundation of personhood, listening as much what I can learn to get out to the person, but the person is listening also. But the whole lot is false. In this life, you have come to the very door of your nirvana. Remember, we shared the thing of the sage Rumi. He said something. No? I've been standing at the door, knocking. Tuck, 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 tuck. Knocking at the door. It opens. I've been knocking from inside. Find myself knocking at this door. Tuck, tuck, what it means. Let me in, let me in. Tuck, 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 tuck. Door opens. What is door open? The realization. Then you realize, I've always been inside. I was imagining I'm outside. So therefore I have to knock, please let me in, let me in. But you were inside. But the mind put you outside. The mind's putting you, I got terrible, I don't know what I'm doing, my life is falling apart, I never can get it, and it's so terrible, and the sleepless nights, completely ego is an Olympic sufferer, okay, without the medals. And something is there that supports it. It feels, what option is there? I've got to go through this, I've got to fight this, but fighting as the ego identity. You see, we have not been taught, when we say ego growing up, you think ego is me, look, oh. No, ego can be, Ego simply means identifying as that which is, which you are not, with the personal sense, identifying with the body and with personal identity, conditioning and all of that. That's what's happening here. And there's a loyalty to it at a certain point. It's as though I'm so trapped I can't get out. Each more I try and I get pulled back in. You see? So I'm not so much telling, try harder, and I'm saying, observe with detachment. And at some point, if you observe anything, it slows down in its impact and somehow brings you back to yourself. You come to be aware that you are the one witnessing all of that. but it takes a certain persistence. I would like to know even how many people here actually know that you have found your path. You see? Not, yeah, I'm still looking and no, but that you see what needs to be done or undone. It's not the world need to be undone. I don't even know if the ego needs to be undone, except to be detached from, to see that it also is an object of perception. Who can see this though? You see? And is that seeing an intermittent seeing? You see it for a while and it's back. You see it for a while. See it for a while. Feels like this, no? Yeah. But intermittent is also seen. Intermittent is also seen. Is the seer of intermittent itself intermittent? You see, these are pointers that need a certain attention. This must be the one medicine for everything. But the mind itself wants to move on. And I wonder why. Because at every point we are trying to make use of that opportunity to wake up. I'm putting wake up, don't go away. I'm putting wake up as more powerful than grow up. Grow up is understandable. We're all in this process of evolution and growing and learning from our mistakes and so on. But sometimes you can be growing only within the realm of the phenomenal. Can you understand what it means by saying that? That our growth is still in the realm of personhood only. You're a spiritual being. So even sometimes, I'm coming to you, even determination, you see, so yeah, I've got to be really determined. But if such strong identity is in the determination, it will still help up to a point. But we're trying to come off the wheel altogether, to see from off the wheel. You have got to be off screen from your life at the same time. You understand what it means by that, to say, are you on screen? When I say you have to be off screen, meaning you can observe more, and you're aware that what you're observing is a play of transitoriness, of momentariness. It has beginning, middle, and end. But the observer, free of identity, is not time-bound. Have you seen this thing? Have you seen? You were not listening, were you? Trying to look. Trying to look is also observable. Even trying to look also is something seen. That which sees trying to look, is that trying? Does it need to try itself? It's so powerful. It's so all-comprehensive seeing. You're reporting about, yes, where are you? In Setubal. Oh, not yet Lisbon, no. But how far are you from here? Oh, from here. Where are you? From here. What is here? This is the power of Maya. That being that, we have become the seeker of that, and the seeker is also an entity appearing momentarily in this. The seeker, the person, is very linked with the eternal also. Because the deeper truth of a person is that it's a soul, and a soul is also eternal. It can be eternal with phases of deep suffering. What is eternal if it just means ongoing suffering? So, I diagnose the thing there is the identity, not the troubles. The trouble is coming out of the identity. Let's not just treat the symptoms. What is the cause? And the cause is the identity. Now, what is the medicine for the identity? Is to observe it until you see that it is also traffic. Can you do this thing, you see? Because the identity is representing itself also. Like, listen, I'm doing quite well, and you put the brakes on me there. That was not very helpful for me. You put all kind of tricks he comes with. You've been coming to me a few times over the last couple of weeks, somehow. I don't know how much there is in you the
fight.
Resolve.
Resolve.
Yes. So fight can take a long time. Seeing can be very short. The discipline and to discover when you discover the joy of some discipline, just enough to keep watching and checking and say, no, that's also something, that's also something. And so every time you identify, you recognize something, you don't log in. You see, only by having that kind of space does it become a pure reflection of what is really here. If every time you engage, you postpone, we delay. Can you see what I'm saying here? This is something that I'm speaking. You give me the opportunity to direct that advice to you right now. You see? But what it feels like is such a stubborn identity. Even creating suffering, but it cannot come out of it. You see? Why? Because of the passion of identity, the power of identity. But I said the identity itself is not, it's quite, it's a ghost. And it's not the Holy Ghost. It's a ghost. But nobody has told us.
My resolve has to be for this, because
it doesn't have to be monumental. It just has to be persistent. It doesn't have to be Olympic, but it has to be persistent. Because otherwise the mind will go, yeah, I'm getting ready, buying the gear, getting candle from Tibet, getting incense from Nicaragua. No, you don't need. self does not need. Okay? So all these kind of setups will play. And you're going to be an expert, actually, at seeing the nooks and crannies of the mind. You understand this term? Yeah. You're going to see the hiding places and all the tricks. God has given you a tremendous challenge because it's so rich in fruit, and you're going to have to eat this fruit. It's the people often who go through, hellfire, who then somehow come to understand the nature of the manifest self, and can really guide. But you must first come out. You must first come out. Some years ago, I was watching one talk show, and on it appeared a young woman who had anorexia or something. Was not eating and was really, really as skinner as my finger, but in her own mind she felt like she still was putting on weight every time she eat, and this kind of stuff was going on. And that had gone on for quite some time, and the host was saying, was talking, but this young lady was saying actually, like when she came on, the audience went, ooh, okay? So you give an idea of what they were talking about. But somehow in that, she was still talking about all her intentions and all the wonderful things she wants to do and da-da-da-da. Then came another girl came on the show, and she also had gone through these episodes, very, very strong, but she had come out of it. And she looked quite healthy and so on. So these two similar experiences on the stage, and the interviewer was talking with them. And at some point, the one who was still in the deep state of delusion about her state, like this, she said, so the interviewer asked her, so what's next for you? And she says, I am going to write a book. So the other girl says, but who wants to read your book? Who wants to read your book? That will only to depress them. They should read my book, because I've been through this and I've come out. So there is something to be offered. First you be healed of that state. Then people know, oh, I want to know how I can go. So you have to be healed of that state of delusion. Where is your perfect self? Right here. It's right here. It's in this body, and it's in everything in the universe. There's not little self and big self, actually. And just a flickering finger, not just flickering finger, but the attention to the finger has covered the Supreme. The finger is the mind and the world, and the one hypnotized by it is the identity. Both are phenomenal. And even the idea, but it's so hard to come out, is itself an illusion. Because the self is not even in. So it's not snap, snap, I'm saying. Tap, 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 tap. At some point, even tap, 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 tap is showing up in your non-tapping seeing. It's here. In all of this, all these words, all these pointers, all this is happening in the self we are. The person has a design for the kind of successful person it wants to be. but there's no end to the pursuit of success in the phenomenal world. Can I just check? Is this a bit depressing? Are we okay? Then what is it then? It's not depressing. What is it? It's of any value? Huh? Joyful. You hear that? You see? So who said joyful? Okay, can you see with her eyes?
Wow.
Huh?
Can I see with her eyes? Is that what it is?
Well, you are seeing her eyes also, and you can see it inside yourself. But that self is not given much importance. It's more the private self is given importance, which itself is illusory and totally inconsistent and ultimately unreal. Ultimately, presently unreal. But fiercely stubborn. But even its stubbornness is illusory. It depends where you're taking your assessment from. I wonder what our Saja Express friends are feeling. Or, huh? Yeah.
I also need to stand for this today, that too much importance and attention is given to this for too long.
Yes.
And also the same suffering that Devi has had, it feels like it's really enough.
Yeah.
And standing with you is so clear, but somehow it's not happening. But
what is not happening? The self is not happening, or the non-self is not unhappening?
I don't care anymore. I just want to stand with you, and I can't.
Yes.
I have to stand here and say I have to stand with you now.
Is it primarily the fruit of strenuous effort, or clear and persistent seeing? I'm just checking. No? I put it that what each one appears to be searching for, if you say you're searching for all that you are, it is already so. Plus what you are not and trying to unbecome. Either way, the self is not stunned. This is the great paradox and mystery. But for who? It is an amazing existence. It's always been. When I say there's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. A world here meaning a psychological, subjective projection upon the pure manifestation, which is not pure in the sense that it's this was really right and this is really wrong in that way. I don't know if I want to go down this road. I'd rather catch it. Where we're not trying to analyze the movie, but just realizing we're watching a movie. But I don't know how. And not only that, you're watching a movie, we are watching a movie in God's cinema. And watching the movie, we can have all the reactions, of crying and, oh, no, I don't, and whoa, and and all of this. Can that still be superficial in some way? It's happening. There's just even a kind of because the soul needs to be entertained, and even suffering is a form of entertainment. Bad movie. It can be, but still the same purity is watching it. The same pure one is the earthing place, the grounding place of that cinematic experiencing. On the screen is included the idea we have of ourselves. Our identity is on the screen also. If I were to say like this, that the identity is also on the screen. So what is witnessing the identity also? I don't want the answer in words, but in introspection. Check in and see. Are we willing to accept that which is beyond form, that doesn't need to be proud of something? It has no ego. It's still the feeling of ego. Don't curse, oh, you're so ego. No. All that's ego. Ego is also the main character in God's play. But it is a character. And yes, some characters are quite stubborn to be there for quite some bit. But it must be because of some great, I look at it this way, there's a great liberation of this. There's such a richness, but it will not show, that wealth will not show while there's so much faith and identity in the dream, in the dreamer. The dreamer is also being dreamed. More and more these days, I'm finding that I don't feel I'm particularly I don't feel I'm communicating concepts, but communicating spirit. You see? Because I was never much able to retain a lot of information. I always lose my way. Then I found the every way. So now it's not so much, oh, remember, what did he say? Remember it we said after this thing. Don't get entangled in that. Listen inside. You are listening inside your being, inside your wholeness. But some attention is navigated towards the identity and how the identity is doing. Main character in the book. And this strong binding identity, when you say awaken from, because why? It's dreamed. Who sees it is dreaming? Yes. Then if it is dream, does the dream not include the dreamer also? And the one who is, this thing is happening and I really want to stop and I'm trying to get my life right and it's getting together and, and this is happening and so on. Can it be seen that that is included in the play also? If that is included in the play, who is its witness? Check it now. Is the witness of this play passionate? Stimulated by the play at this stage, at this depth of looking, addicted to play. The same one play can be experienced in different ways on different days. Some day happily, another day, struggle. The play. Well, too much about play. Can you bear your own silence? Not keeping silent. No, can you bear your natural silence? Or we need a little bit of dynamics. And then there's all this dynamics is here. So you are the dynamic and the non-dynamic and beyond. When I say beyond, don't start to go out, don't project. Beyond means the most subtle. And don't wait for the day, the end of ego. Perhaps one day you look for it, it can't be found. May not even be looking for it. Where does our ghost, the ghost in the house, where does it live? You could relate to what Devi was sharing, isn't it? Yes. Okay, we go to one more at the back and okay, come.
Thanks, Babaji. I just wanted to talk with you today. Sometimes I don't raise my hand and come forward because I feel like when I was a child, I remember already accepting Christ into my heart and knowing everything was fine. And then I'd meet people and pretend like I wasn't saved so that they could have the joy of saving me. And that might sound ridiculous, but I always know that all is always well. And you've shown me this. But I wanted to come today to talk about suffering, because it's something that I think is very strong with the way that I grew up in Christianity and things like this. And I wanted to tell you something really specific, is that from meeting you, even though I feel like I've known you forever, as my father, this suffering that I've gone through has become something really joyous in a way, because it always reminds me of God. So you helped me with what you say, a very practical thing, from taking something that I was going through, and still to this day, it's not, as soon as I claim it, it has a chance to come back again. So it's like this thing you said about Papaji being vigilant until your last breath. Or Nisargadatta saying, are you suffering your experience or experiencing suffering? But you've given me such a powerful tool, and I just want to share that with you, because it's not so much a question, it's just more of a gratitude. Because every time anything comes that makes me suffer, I know it's not me suffering. And I see this monkey running around doing these things in life, and I know it's not me. But when it comes, it reminds me to be so close to God.
At the point when you really know it's not you, you cease seeing it.
Can you say that again? Sorry.
At the point when you realize a thing to be not true, you stop seeing it. Or you see it with the same evenness that you look upon other things that you're capable of physically seeing, but not psychologically seeing, not emotionally seeing. You neutralize, they get neutralized. Not that you necessarily you neutralize them, but they become quiet and empty like you are. I want you to see that when I speak of emptiness, the word emptiness also quite often carry a kind of negative tone in our world often. But for me, emptiness, it's kind of universal. It's kind of something universal. You have to become universal again, where the story of personhood can somehow be there, but it's like it's not demanding attention. You're not basing, just non-phenomenal. In the non-phenomenal, the phenomenal can all be there. Everything. Know that even the play of disharmony is included in the great harmony. How it feel? How it feel? Rather than setting up one thing against another and comparing all the time, just let whatever it is. I say whatever it is, then it is this. Because the thing you say it is this today is not that today. Tomorrow is something else. So whatever, in whatever shade it appears, it is only appearing as an appearance inside the unchanging. Don't learn that. See. One becomes, by being empty, you become something and you're up against something. You're for and against something. But in the space of consciousness, it's very different. All things are manifest in it. Just like the clouds you see floating in the sky. Every kind of cloud coming. But nothing sticks. Your being is like the immensity, the great immensity. The clouds are like the traffic of thought and identity, aspirations, memory, future, time, all floating by. The immensity doesn't go, oh, cozy cloud. No, it's all included. It's included. But the space never gets carried away. Does that metaphor work? Yes. Because it is kind of, everything in this world is a metaphor for this. Words and thoughts and feelings, they are emanating out of the great silence. What is another word for the great silence? God, the supreme being, pure consciousness, yourself. Is it a compliment? It is the self. And it's okay. It wants to individuate, to play that. It wants to experience how it feels to be present. But the moment it loses sight of its own, not a visual sight, a wisdom sight of its own eternalness, it comes into a delusion and suffering. Which it wants to taste also. It wants to taste the great suffering, to experience the great bliss. I'm just putting it that way. Because in the realm of interrelated opposites, one hand cannot clap. Okay? You ever heard, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Oh. What is the sound of one hand clapping? So this is the contact with phenomenon and this play. It can be a joy, but because the joy is also included in the interrelated opposite, then sorrows must be there also. It plays this. But beyond the phenomenal joy and sorrows of life is the bliss of the eternal. Beyond where? Where? In which direction? The words I've just spoken have evaporated into the great abyss. Where is the great abyss? You, us, I, that, the one. I don't know how useful these things are right now. God's divine picnic.
Thank you, Babaji.
Thank you,
Just
man.
needed to stand in front of you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. You're still hot? Your sister wants us also. Which? Make a choice. You were first. Oh, okay. You're not twins?
Well, what came up just a little bit earlier is not even true now anymore.
You know, I was going to say to you, is your question still hot?
Yeah.
You see, it's a beautiful place to watch our intentions dissolve and not to be faithful to them. Because I checked, your sister put the hand up also, and then you say you're first. And I know that, in a sense, I hear that in you where you see it's not true even. That maybe that thing, it's quite okay for something which was important at the moment to somehow just disappear, which they're doing all the time. But you have not disappeared. Not even appeared.
But then still there's a feeling of something needing to be burped out somehow.
Yes.
Because these last couple of days there's been a lot of seeing and a lot of seeing the play the person is doing, like in the moment it's speaking, and in that moment it feels true, but then a minute later it sees it's not true. But then yesterday when we were together, there was also this seeing that even this seer is just fake. Everything is just so very fake.
Mm-hmm. That which sees it, that which sees the fake, is it passionate about the revelation?
It's like a bit smiling about all of this, about the whole game, about the whole...
No, there's a deeper one than the smiling one. Check it this moment, just keep quiet. There's a deeper one than even the one that's watching it and going, how odd. Deeper than this, cleaner than this, emptier than this. You see, this is the thing. How can that which is everywhere be seen? Not with the phenomenal eyes. So I don't know what word, because largely words were here to serve the phenomenal. That which is seeing, that sees even seeing, is where located. These are now responses. But maybe introspect first, and then you may share. That which sees even the one who is saying, I can see, sees even this one. Does it have any
fake.
attitude? Huh?
It's also fake.
That is fake also? No, the one that's feeling smiling, the smiling one is also fake.
Yeah.
Fake means?
Not real.
Not real. Then what is real? Then what is real? If you say something is unreal, is an implication that there is a real. These are not mental gymnastics. It's come, home in. Something is homing in. But even the homing inness is seen. What is here? Come on, admit it. You see, for so long we have to be about something. In our world you have to be credible. You have to acquire some knowledge that people will say, this one is professor. We have to have a standpoint, a background, a journey. But to the one who is awake, such things only child's play. Nothing can touch this one. Where is this one, and does it exist? Who is to say? It is obvious that sprouting from you is the very evidence of your uncatchableness. Nothing can taint that. Nothing can stain that. But the pride of individuality will not confess it. And all that does is set you up for oncoming journeys, more journey to travel. Because maybe we're addicted to experiencing. And so we're on the cycle of change. That's fine, it's fine, it can go on. God is not waiting. Oh, they're taking so long, I'm still waiting. No, it can go on and on. Maybe show without end, but some transcend. Wherever you go, there are regions above that also. But for who? Is there noise left in you? Seek. Is there noise, disturbance? What's it like within your withinness? Is it spluttering with unanswered questions? Or are they just redundant, irrelevant? For this. At an earlier stage down there, we can shuffle and we can compare and we are using the right currency. But here, in the great ether of the Supreme, what is your currency? Is this also fantasy? Is there fear that you, oh my God, I've got to go back to work on Monday. How am I going to cope? No, you'll do very well. Better than cope. Because the Lord of the universe is there also. I think we're good for now. What is happening with you? Because I see you like this. Tears. Happy tears, sad tears, what's happening? Identified tears?
I just feel so much love to you, you know. Just love of God in my heart, and just the tears are coming.
Oh, this is good. Tears have character too. Isn't it? Where they come from, what generate them. And great pictures. I'm crying, but the love of God. Yeah. Don't put tissues on those tears. Holy water. Holy water.
Thank you so much for everything. For all the troubles, I thank everyone and everything, just to find the God in the heart. Thank you so much.
Yes. All the troubles you've caused? What happened?
Whatever troubles existing.
We forget them. Everybody causes trouble. Even to themselves. Love manifests all these things. But who can see that? Somehow love is manifesting even Maya. Why to do that? Because it says, greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Yeah? Because the world is seen through the eyes and the mind, but greater is that within you, which is what actually is synonymous with yourself, the real self, the real you, you beyond you.
Just felt to come to share that there is so much space here, and
Yes.
and I heard you fully,
Yeah.
and I still feel this kind of potential to go with identification, with thoughts, even listening to you and being clear, and I can still feel this kind of.
Yes, yes. And good you say, because it will continue for a bit, but sometimes things drop away and you don't realize. At some point it must be going like this. It must be going, just going. The influence of the psychological identity must be waning, must be dropping. It does. So that things show up now and again, it's okay. Just say, another chance to look and to strengthen your discernment. It's like that. But as I said before, don't think that your mind is going to give you yourself. You can study as much as you want using this and that. No, but just offer your heart to this. Because if your heart is not offered, you'll go nowhere. You may acquire spectacular awards in this world, but there will be nothing for yourself. I want to say that because there will come a time when we have grown sufficiently, evolved sufficiently, to not be so possessive about the transient. To open your heart up to the immensity of the grace of God. And you're never out of its sight until you attain harmony with it. We are here for this very reason. And so graced also. Yeah, so even opening up your heart to say, I don't know where this is going, actually. But so far, I'm seeing from where I've come something. And so I am not going to count God's gifts. I'm going to open to the immensity. Mm-hmm. Whatever that is, that much faith is important also. Alongside that, the valued guidances that are offered, knowing that universal consciousness totally supports you. And that your will and your wish are the most powerful tools God gives. That if your wish is to do something, the generosity of being allows you to do, even if it leads to a mistake or so, that you will learn from this or something. but not the way human being punish. You just allow, try it out and see. Because ultimately, I don't feel God judges anyone. You'll be your own judge at some point. But you'll be a wise judge, compassionate and just. Okay. Thank you for today. Thank you. That time is done now. Thank you. It feels good that those joining broadcast can be with us in this way. I feel you also. And that when we can invite the Sangha family from wherever you may be to participate in real time. Let's say this word, real time with us. In the freshness of now. And that now is not a time. It's not time bound. Very good. You like this arrangement? Very good. Yes. Some on the sofa, I think there are. Okay. What a great thing that we came into this world to awaken to the eternal. And that you are conscious of it. And to be conscious of being conscious. And the fruit of the darshan of God's grace will continue to bear other fruits. Recognized and unrecognized fruits. And may I just say from my heart to bless all. That the opportunity to awaken to the eternal stays bright in you by the power of grace of the self permeates our being and set us free from the great fear. To transcend the great fear of seeming non-existence. great blessing of awakened consciousness. Let it be so. Here, now, and forevermore. Amen. There is no need to try too hard to remember things. And just be open to them, and they will find their place in you. A great love is here.
God bless you, Mugji. At this moment for sharing your heart, your wisdom, for everything that you have. Just